Hello everybody, welcome to Tap Peddler Live on a Monday morning. I've got Peter Cummins with me, the Vinegar Jar.
Hello everyone.
And I've got Peter Wrays Adventures.
Hi everyone.
I'm sure you both all know them, but I don't know if you want to introduce yourself quickly.
I'm Pete Cummins. I've been reselling for just about 4 years, I guess, and just started doing YouTube about 6 months ago. Been doing bits and bobs on the 80s festival, watching everyone, which has been amazing. Was watching Nick with the Celtic Traders yesterday, auctioning off the Flat Eric and Lexi's disco, and there was some crazy bloke dressed as Adamant on a pop quiz. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, it's all been good fun. And I think the total's gone, it went over 5K.
It did 5,000, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up in a second.
Share that, brilliant. Yeah, but yeah, Pete, over to you, mate.
Okay. As you probably already know, my name's Peter. Been doing eBay for about 4 years and part-time. YouTube since 2017, May 17, so nearly 3 years. As what Peter's saying, the charity auction is really great. Like lots of streams. I really liked two Aussie thrifters because I was watching that yesterday with the Aussie VHS thrifter who because they were donating to do different things, and he was doing like an aerobics thing. That was hilarious. But there's a lot of great things from charity.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch up on a few of them because I've missed quite a few of the good ones.
They were great. Yeah,
I've caught a lot of them, but I haven't got all of them. It's just so much is going on, and Nick's on almost every one. I mean, he will be lying down in a darkened room, I think, after this is over.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So much going on. It's amazing.
And there's still more to come.
Still more to come, yeah.
Right, so I'll say hello to the chat. We've got Leanne Hill in. We've got Grant Resells. We've got Joan. We've got Chris Tyler. Andrew, Money Mental UK. I'm not sure who he is. He must be a new.
Never heard of him before.
Must be a new YouTuber or something. Yeah. We've got Ali Evans. Hi Ali. We've got Lisa, and we've got Nick. Or it could be Andrea, but I'm assuming it's Nick from his username. Susie Sells. Hiya. Thanks for joining. Right, so the reason we're going live this morning and the reason why everybody's doing these lives is to raise money. Here we go. So we've got the Reseller YouTube Charity Festival. This is for the British Red Cross. And at the moment, we're at 5,000. Oh, let me just refresh it because that might have gone up. £5,171.94, which is brilliant.
That's an amazing total. I mean, I think was the original target 1,000?
The original one was 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Blown that out of the water. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And Edwards was saying, it's just it is the generosity of the reselling community is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
it's so true.
It's brilliant, and the fact it's come together so quickly as well.
Yeah,
about a week or something to everybody to sort of organise everything, which is brilliant. Yeah, originally I was going to play this game. Let me find it. I don't know where I put it now. But it was GTA 3 I was going to play. GTA Vice City. Set in the 80s. Which
that is fantastic. When I bought a PS2, I hadn't had a console for ages, and I bought a PS2, and the only game I had on it was GTA Vice City. It's the only one I bought. I've still got it. And I tried to finish the game, and there was like a glitch in one of the motorbike challenges where I think the game thought I'd done it, but it didn't put on the percentage point. So I was like 99.9% completing it.
So you couldn't do it.
Jesus. But printing out the sort of the completion notes off the internet saying how you do it all. But yeah, great game. The soundtrack's amazing.
Yes. yeah, as you know, I worked on that. Was the first game I worked on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was great time. That was the best sort of time, because I'd just been out of uni and I just sort of just started, and it was
Where
quite
was
a
that? Where was that
learning
based?
experience.
Where are they based, Rockstar?
Edinburgh.
Oh, they're up there. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Although now it's basically worldwide. Now you've got studios all over the place.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was DMA Design. So it was just basically just us.
So how many
office.
how many people wrote that, or got involved in that game? Because it seems like such a huge game, but
yeah, at the time it was quite small.
Yeah.
I know there was probably about 8 programmers, including me, and then obviously there was probably about
designers,
8 design, maybe about 8. There was sort of teams of about 10, 8 or 10 for each different team. So it was quite a small team. I know for
back in the 80s when like Spectrum games or Commodore games used to be released, they used to pretty much be written by one guy.
Guy, maybe
doing machine code or something,
Yeah, maybe an artist or something, but
if you were
pretty
lucky.
much one guy. I remember when we were planning on doing San Andreas, we all flew out to America to sort of do some research.
Wow. Yeah.
And basically we all fitted on one plane, so that was
the high life right there.
But Nick's saying he bet you programmed that glitchy bit, so I've probably still got the save on my PS2, so because I've still got it. So
actually,
I'll bring it up.
The stats system was something I was quite heavily involved in. So
many sleepless nights.
But I blame the designers.
The number of times I redid that motorbike, because they were like jump challenges or something.
Yeah, there are quite a few.
I think I did that one about 20 times before I thought I was just not going to get this 100%.
Just never going to get it.
Just never going to. I'll have to start a new game. Oh God. Oh well, never mind.
So the plan was I was going to play it and sort of revisit it because I haven't really played it properly since it was finished. So because we basically, once it was submitted to Sony, we basically had like a month or something that we basically weren't really doing a lot. So we basically just played the game.
Yeah. So you were pretty good at it, were you? Or?
I was okay at that point. The thing is, you don't actually get to be that good because when you're working on it, obviously it's unfinished, and you can basically do what you want. You can just fly around the map and drop yourself in different places and give yourself full health and all that sort of stuff. So, so you don't actually play it from a proper perspective until it's completely finished. So, I haven't played it for years. So, it was going to be a bit of a trip down memory lane, but I might do it at some point. But so I've arranged some tat to go through instead.
That's exactly what I've done. I have gathered together tat from the 80s, and I've done very little research for my thing at 11. So I was looking at Darren's thing the other day on 80s toys, and I was going, "Oh no!"
Oh, that one, yeah.
This is so good, and mine's like, here's something I had. But maybe it'd be interesting to some people. So we shall see.
What I'll do, I've got them all over here because now I've got my headphones on.
I'm sorry.
I can't get them, so I'll bring a few over and then we'll chat about them.
Yeah, I see Lucy's just saying there. Hi guys, popping in for a bit while listing. Where's Vice City going to inspect 2 Pete's?
Yeah, well, it's 2 Pete's instead of Vice City. There you go. How old were you in the 80s then, Peter? When were you born? You must have been born in the 90s, weren't you?
Yeah, 1990.
1990. Oh, there you go.
I was a 79 child. So
I was before that, so I'm not even going to say how old I am.
So I remember the late 80s, and in very sort of primitive ways.
It's weird going through all these memories because like a lot of my memories and a lot of stuff I got is like early 80s. And I've been on streams when people are very much talking about the late 80s and consoles and stuff, and I was all very like early 80s Spectrums and Amigas sort of stuff. So and the music as well, late 80s. I haven't got much of a clue, but
Yeah,
early 80s.
I do like 80s music. That's my sort of
Yeah.
favorite music.
Mhm.
But yeah, I had a Amstrad CPC
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
my
yeah.
first computer, and then that's what I started programming on, and that's how I sort of got into
Was that
making
like a grey
games.
one? Was it a grey keyboard or?
Yeah, mine was the 6128, which was the sort of top of the range type thing, which was
Well,
great at the time because you
you,
could
you-
get a green screen and you could get a color screen.
All right.
My one had the color screen, and
well, the
my one
whole
had
thing. You
the
talking
disk
about
drive and stuff.
programming? That was the whole trick about when you were trying to get like a Spectrum off your mum and dad, and they were saying you're not just going to play games on it, and you're like, no, oh no, it's educational. I'll learn how to become a computer programmer, and of
Yeah,
course, as soon as you get it, you're just buying games.
Play games, yeah.
And the only
yeah,
program you do is print Pete 20 go to 10, and that's it. So
yeah.
I did very little programming on my one.
I can't remember actually asking for the computer. I think it was just something my dad decided to get,
Yeah.
and then we just started sort of using it. And of course, then we started buying games and stuff for it. I remember it came with quite a few games. It must
I
have been
remember
like
at
a
school,
bundle or something.
all they had at school was like BBC Micros, and they had a couple of old
Yeah,
Tandy Electronics like computers, like
right.
really
Yeah,
old stuff. But it was all, BBC Micro. I think there was a computer program on with Leslie Judd for computer
yeah,
programming, like in the early 80s.
yeah. There used to be a thing to match up with the BBC Micro. I think
Yeah,
that's why it was released. So there was a whole sort of educational thing on
but
the
it was
BBC.
it was like VIC 20, Dragon 32,
Yeah, I had one of them as well.
Spectrum, Commodore 64, BBC Micro, but that was expensive. I think that was about 300 quid at the time. And
Yeah,
I can't remember how much the Spectrum was. Probably around about 100, because that was the
yeah,
whole thing. It was cheap.
yeah. I have
But
no idea how much these were because I was so small. So I remember I upgraded to an Atari ST, and then I was
oh
quite
yeah, yeah.
quite heavily into that because I had an STFM, which was like my first one. Then I upgraded it to what was the STE, which was
That was
the sort
about
of
the same
better
time
model.
was that about the same time as the Amiga? Because
Yeah, my
yeah,
brother had an Amiga.
I
He
had
had
an Amiga.
Amiga 500,
Yeah,
and
same here.
I think he had later on he might have got a 1200. I think
Yeah,
I had a
I bought my Amiga at like I think it was a computer fair went up there, and because you were able to get it like 40 quid cheaper or something ridiculous. We
yeah,
just came home with this boxed Amiga. I was like, oh, amazing.
yeah. I remember the jump from the Amstrad to the Atari was like it was amazing.
Yeah.
They had all these different colours and it's
Well, the
fantastic.
Atari was that'd be tape, wouldn't it? And
No, the Atari was floppy
was it
disk.
big? Was it big ones or little
No,
ones?
no. It
Oh,
was
little
basically
ones.
the ST was basically the same as the Amiga, as far as I
No,
was
what about the
concerned.
Amstrad though? Was
Oh, the
that?
Amstrad was well, the one we had a floppy drive,
Ah, okay.
but it was the old 3-inch floppy. So it
Yeah.
wasn't the 3.5; it was the 3-inch. That was slightly different. I think
Okay.
Alan Sugar got like a
Probably
discount
some
discount on them or something. So
weird
he used them.
Amstrad format or something.
Yeah, I think the Spectrum used them as well.
Oh,
But
because Amstrad bought Sigtron.
yeah. The +3 was basically the same as the Amstrad at that point. I think.
I think I'd given up
In
by then.
design and stuff.
I got a +2, which was the grey.
Yeah, the grey one with the tape.
The grey one with the tape.
48K. Yeah.
Bloody
Yeah, I had one of them later on. Actually, I had one of them quite fairly recently that I resold.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had all sorts of computers in the past.
A few bits and bobs.
A lot of older ones from the car boot sales, and I've sort of bought them and then used them and then sold them again.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I'll go through the tat I've got. So yeah, what I thought I'd show some stuff that we see at boot sales quite regularly. So I was going to do something about like vintage computers and stuff, but a lot of them you just don't see anymore. So it's a bit pointless talking too much about them because you just never see them. So
Well, yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean?
I've got a couple of bits, but I'll save them for my thing. But you're right; it's so like hen's teeth, aren't they?
Yeah,
So rare.
and a lot of people know the value in it as well now. Well, I
Yeah.
think they know the value. which makes it worse if they think it's worth even more than what they're really worth, sort of thing, you know. So yeah, so I thought I'd show some sort of, you know, usual sort of tats, but based on 80s, maybe 90s sort of stuff. Cause,
what you got in? Let's see which Pete remembers this.
Yeah, I wonder.
so
Yeah.
so I don't know, I'll pick it. It's completely random. Vintage alarm clocks.
Oh God,
and they seem to do quite well. I'm assuming lots of people like retro homes and stuff like that, don't they? So this is quite sort of retro. It's got like pink
it's amazing how
buttons
much of that stuff does sell. I mean, especially if you have like a flip clock one, which is probably more 70s, but the flip clock stuff.
Yeah, they go for a lot. They go for a lot of money.
I
think. Yeah, if they all work and stuff.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I've opened up like a flip clock, and it's amazing seeing all the mechanism in it, and you know, they're just little bits of plastic like held on.
You probably don't want to start taking ones a bit
No,
too much, and you never get it back together.
I had a huge one, probably, you know, God, how big was it? Probably a metre square that you put on a wall.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah, that sold. That was an amazing pickup. Got it for about a tenner, I think. But it was just absolutely massive. You know,
it reminds me, last week I sold one. Do you remember those wristwatches you used to hang on the wall? The big ones.
We used to get those Swatch ones, you know, big ones. Yeah. But I think Damien had a big. Damien Buckley, he had a big one. Right. But incredible.
Yeah, I sold one of those last week. I think I got about £30 for it. Yeah. And it was missing the buckle bit as well, which was I didn't think I'd get a lot for it, but yeah, it's still sold. I suppose it's still quite
people are buying
still quite cool, isn't it? To go on the wall. Yeah, so alarm clocks seem to they go for about £15. I usually find. So if you can pick them up for £1 or something, but then they usually do work. There's never usually a problem with them.
Do you go for a certain make? Because if I pick up something like that, I tend to stick to like Sony or Roberts. But do you just go for
Yeah, I pick up more or less as long as it has to be, you know, for £1 or £2 maybe. But yeah, this is a Sanyo. But anything like retro looking seems to do quite well, I find. But a lot of these things I get at auction as well, though. So, but they're always dirty. I mean, look at how dirty this is. It needs all cleaning and the grill and all of that. It's a lot of hassle as well.
It is a lot of hassle. But I mean, I think maybe people, you know, have them for holiday homes or just stick it, you know, it's weird what people want.
I think a lot of people have these retro themed rooms as well now, you know, or retro themed homes.
That's true.
So, next one is a telephone. And I guess this is later 80s, isn't it? Because it's push button.
There was a thing on the other day where kids were being shown dial phones, and they had to work out. They had to work out how to ring someone, and it took them about 10 minutes. Like,
try to press the button.
Well, first of all, they didn't know they had to pick up the receiver, so they were just going, you know, pressing the numbers.
Right.
You know,
I was so used to it. Yeah.
They eventually worked out that you had to do that first, and then they didn't get the zero. You know, didn't get the higher numbers because I think they were just sort of putting their finger in and turning it a little bit, and didn't really
way around. Yeah.
You had to completely do the whole thing, didn't you? And wait for it to return before you did the next one.
But I remember like
a minute or something to dial.
And no redial on it. So I remember me and my brother like trying to ring in for I don't know, swap shop or radio phone-ins or whatever, and it would be some 0208 whatever number, and what number was it then? I can't remember what number it was then, but it was a long old number, and you had to go all the way around and then keep doing it, and you get like sore fingers from like, you know, doing this for about an hour.
Yeah.
Nuts.
So yeah, those two things worth picking up. You see them fairly regularly, but I think the dial ones, people tend to think they're worth a lot.
Well, they do, yeah. How much would you pay for something like that? Are you talking like 5 or 10 quid?
Probably about 5 for a dial one. Probably the same for this one as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I have seen people sell them, and they do try and get more money for them.
I'll get about 25 to 30 for probably both of them. Maybe a little bit more for the dial, depending. It all depends on the colour and stuff like that as well. If you get like a red one, it's worth a lot more.
Stu Mandridge just put in the swap shop number.
Oh,
And I do remember that, Stu. Yeah, I definitely
trust
do.
you.
So next thing are these tape boxes. Now,
Oh God.
this could well be 90s, I don't know, but the general thing's the same. So people like their retro stuff to put their cassettes in. If you're going back to like the computers of the 80s, people have Sinclair Spectrums or something. They might
Yeah,
want one of these.
tapes, yeah.
And the good thing about buying these is that you usually get a load of tapes with them.
Yeah.
And you can pick them up for like £1, and you can usually sell the tapes as a bundle for maybe £10, maybe even more, depending on what the tape is. And these go for about £15. I found.
I've picked up. It was a real retro tape holder. It had sort of 2 drawers underneath, all wooden effects and like perspex lid, and it's called a cassette 69. So
yeah, I've had those.
Cassette 69.
Yeah.
And Andrew's favourite number. He'd love one of those. But I've had 2 or 3 of those, and it's the sort of thing you can always get a jumble sales 50p.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like maybe 4 rows of tapes and 2 drawers underneath.
Yeah,
and will sell for like 15, 20 quid, I think, on eBay.
Yeah.
So always worth picking up.
They're always worth picking up, those sort of things, because even if you can get the tapes with them as well, because people don't want the tapes. But
no, exactly.
If you're lucky, there might be some decent tapes in there, but usually I just bundle them because they're not worth a lot.
Yeah.
Although used blank tapes can be good to sell as well. So if you've got like a bundle of 10, C90 or C60 tapes, bundle them up, probably get £10 delivered. It's all extra cash, isn't it? I'll grab some more stock.
Yeah, Aaron, and he's got a big box of floppy disks. I have a huge box of floppy disks. I don't know what to do really, because I can't test the game. There's computer games I can't test them. You're giving Nick an idea about buying cassettes.
Well, yeah.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got loads of cassettes, but I just can't seem to get a decent amount for them, to be honest with you. I think it really depends on what it is.
It's got to be classic.
They seem to take a lot of sorting through as well, and I'm probably a bit too lazy for that. I just bundle them up and sell them. Somebody probably gets a great bargain somewhere. But,
True.
But I'm happy with that as long as I can make a decent.
If you've got like maybe Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin, something.
Yeah, with the classics, you're going to get a bit more.
Yes, something that stands out. I'll probably do a bit of research. But I did sell some. It was some sort of German army marches tapes, and they sold for about 50.
Very popular.
They sold for about 50 or 60 quid.
God.
And I've actually still got some more, but they're basically copies. So they're on blank tapes, and they came with them. So I might just bundle them up and stick them on as well. I assume they're like rare.
Yeah, maybe. I'd be careful selling copies though. I was selling computer discs that had knitting patterns on, and eBay picks it up as counterfeit, copied piracy basically.
Even though they were old tapes.
Yeah. So you can sell them as you got to be careful. If you're selling, this is a copy on a blank tape. You could get done. So maybe just sell them as blanks. But
I'll sell them as blanks then.
Don't take the risk. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, is it? So these are always good to keep an eye out for.
I've sold one of them. That is great.
These are always worth picking up when you can get them. Although this one has issues, unfortunately. It's quite a small one. I think some of the keys, I think all the keys from here work, but these ones don't. Or something.
Oh, right.
Well, if you open it up, it's like a TV remote control connection. So if you have some electronic paint, or try cleaning it first.
Oh, right, yeah.
But you just put some I've got some on me. But this stuff, which you can get on Amazon, like Z did a.
Oh, it's like a grey paint.
Yeah. And let it dry. It should fix it. But try cleaning it first. It might sort it out. But it's just.
I might give it a go then.
Yeah, exactly the same as a remote control and repairing those.
Right, I might give that a go because I think it's one that's worth
Yeah.
about £50 or £60 that one.
Oh
But,
wow, yeah.
But yeah, I'd sort of
Quite simple inside, really. You know, once you open it up. So
yeah, I'll take a look at that. This is something everybody probably knows.
Oh, yeah.
Walkmans.
Totally.
This isn't a genuine Sony one. This is a Boots one or something, but this is been on sale for ages. It doesn't sell.
I used to work at Boots, and they really did, because they had a sound and vision department, and of course you'd get Boots Boots like C90 tapes and stuff like that, and it was always a bit crap, you know. It was like, oh, you know, wish I had a Sony, or wish I had some proper TDK tapes. But there you go.
Yeah, but Sony ones and other models do quite well, or do very well in some cases. It all depends on the model number. But this is the only one I've got in stock, so. But don't buy this particular one.
Yeah, don't get that one. Does it work? That's the other thing.
It does actually work. It works fine. It's got a radio on it as well. But
oh wow,
it's just, you know, nobody wants it because of the.
Nick's saying he had a Casio back in the 80s. I had an FX35, which God, in the early 80s, there was a hit single by a German band called Trio, called Da Da Da. You guys won't have heard of it. And the guy played an FX35 Casio keyboard, like just on one of the He had a pre-programmed beat, and he just sort of like did this song over it. And I had one of those, and I can still play the demo tune from it. It's about the only thing I ever learned on it. So.
I've had a few of those keyboards to sell, but I also had one. Back in the day, that was a Casio. I think it was a white Casio.
Yeah, mine was white FX35.
And it could have been FX. I can't remember, to be honest, but it was a small one, quite small, and it came in like a material type.
It could have been. I think mine might have been a beige case or something. I can't remember. Yeah. But it was weird because they had options for like you could switch it to. It could become a calculator. And it had all these, and you can make your own sound.
It's a bit random, but
I suppose it's Casio, and you know.
Oh, I see.
That's their expertise. They can just drop money.
Not only is it like something you can play music on, but you can also work out some sums on it. Very strange.
So this is the next thing. These things.
Oh my god!
Telephone. I can't remember what you call them. There's a name, isn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is what everybody had.
Snap.
Oh, there you go. It's identical.
It's a button. Yeah. With your.
Yeah, I thought this was on sale, but
all right.
I think it's dropped off eBay.
Yeah, I remember my parents had one of those. Yeah, that's right.
So these
about 3 of these. You used to get ones with the phone dial on as well, which you could.
Yeah, I think I've sold those ones before. I've sold about 2 or 3 of these before. I don't know why this had dropped off eBay, but I'll have to get that relisted before you do.
Yeah, don't dump the price.
Cameras, vintage cameras. I'm not sure if this is an 80s one, but these do fairly well. You can usually get between £10 and £15 for a basic, just any basic one, I find. But some models do really well, depending on what they are. You can go up to hundreds, you know. But yeah, this is just the basic one. But I usually get these in bundles, so you might get a box of cameras from the auction for like £5 a box or something. So they're almost a no-brainer to get these sort of things, and they're easy to list as long as you put a battery in, test they come on and stuff. That's.
Do you find do they always sell, or are there some you kind of get stuck with, or?
They tend to always sell in the end, but they do take a long time. But a lot of my stock's long tail anyway. Yeah. Once it goes into our storage, it just stays there until it sells, and they do sell. But I always aim high to begin with, so that probably went on sale for like 30 quid or something, but it's probably only worth a tenner. But gradually it will go down, you know, through offers to watchers and you know, markdown manager and all that until it reaches its price. But it doesn't really worry me too much keeping on sale. But I do find they all sell in the end.
Yeah, there's always some vintage camera collector out there who's got a big collection.
Yeah, or it just gets so cheap it sells. But Yeah, I always find they do sell. Let me just grab some more stuff.
Ah, dear, what you got?
Okay, so these sort of things also sell.
Oh wow, I've never had one of those.
Old kitchen appliances in
basics.
general.
It's
Ooh,
boots again. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, Mincer.
Boots cook shop. That would be.
Yeah,
Wow.
not necessarily this particular one, but these sort of thing. Anything sort of vintage kitchen stuff I find does quite well. This has actually been on sale a little while actually, but I did notice when I pulled it out my storage for to do this live. These things that go with it, little plate things, the Mincer plates. I sell them for £10 each.
Oh my god!
But they were Kenwood ones. But I wonder if these are. I've got to take a look at the shape and stuff. So I might just split them out and then sell them separately. But things like this sells. Big food mixers, the Kenwood food mixers, they all sell. Anything vintage for kitchens, because people like to have the vintage look in their kitchen.
Yeah,
retro look and all this. People have like the big old American type freezer. And they've got like old-fashioned sort of kettles. It's all sort of quite in at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next thing everybody probably knows is Lego.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a vintage Lego set.
Is that Technics one?
No, this is just early. Is it? Oh yes, it is new technical set. Yeah, so this is a very basic early Technics, I guess. I've got to build it. I don't know if it's
that'll be fun.
But I bought this at auction. I think it cost me a tenner, but complete it's probably worth about 70 quid by the looks of things.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you got the box, didn't you? Yeah.
It's got the box, it's got the manual.
I've just sold some Lego like from the back end of the 80s. I think it was 89 or 90 the set was from. It was like a castle set and it sold for 100. And I was just like absolutely amazed that it went for that. But some of the vintage stuff really, I've sold even like single 1x1 blocks that are vintage because the lettering's slightly different on them, and they had they had letters printed on them in the kind of navy blue, and they went for like it was something ridiculous, like even like a bundle. 20 of them together, and I think they might have gone for 20 quid. It's like for a one by one separate brick. Yeah.
I watched Nick's video. I think he spoke to Edward Putney about Lego recently. Did a video on it.
Well, I'm so glad. I mean, Nick did. He was doing a Friends bundle recently. I'm so glad he did that because I've got a massive Lego, but some of it was Friends. So I thought to myself, right, I will do that Friends stuff. And I got it into like a box set complete, and there were 3 bundles, and each one went for about. I was kind of thinking in my head the whole lot maybe will go for 100, but each one I think averaged out at about 70 or 80 pounds. So it's like over 300 quid.
Great.
Just all of the Friends stuff. And then I've got a whole load of other stuff to do as well. But that was so nice getting that out of the way. It's a real job to do it though. Go through it. It just
I had a load of Lego from my kids that was basically all in boxes, and I decided to get rid of it. And due to the lockdown stuff, I thought this is the perfect time to sell it.
That's what I did. I thought if I'm not going to sort it now, I never will. But it takes up so much time.
I bundled everything into like bags of basically based on weight.
Oh, okay.
And I listed it, and I sold a couple of them. And then Nick released this video, and I thought. Maybe I really should look at what I've got a little bit more.
I've got some individual bits, and some of the bits I've got, I know is, there's some of the pneumatic stuff, and then some really, really old motor kind of section bits, and you just look at it and think, I haven't seen many of those around, and I kind of think, should I do that individually?
Well, when I was a kid, probably the 90s, actually, this was, but I was quite heavily into my Technic Lego, and I had some great sets.
Yeah,
and they all.
It was pricey at the time as well.
Yeah, I used to get them for Christmas and birthdays and things like that. And I remember the first boot sale I ever went to sell at. Basically, that's when all the good stuff got sold. We had Transformers, we had Lego, we had all the stuff that probably you
Ouch.
think is a bit of bolos now.
Yeah.
I basically sold them off for peanuts
I
on
know,
that first
I know.
ever boot sale. That was like
When
94,
you think
95.
you think of the stuff you've had, like I had, I had quite a few Game and Watches, like Snoopy Tennis and Donkey Kong 2, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I've got chucked out, but there you go.
It's a shame you don't know this at the time and keep them in the loft.
You can't tell.
What will it be in 20 years' time? Who knows?
Yeah, looking through the future.
Yeah. So next thing a lot of people know is vintage board games. I said 80s Mousetrap. They always do well, and I've got a load up here, as you can see. But yeah, they always sell, and the recent issues has made them sell again. I think a bit like Q4. So they're always worth picking up. But I usually get them throughout the year, and then at Q4 I list them all.
That's what I do. Yeah, starting sort of like September time.
Yeah,
chucking them up to Amazon.
I think I'm going to be short this Q4 though, because
you can't source, and it's all
going. One year I got a fantastic lot at an auction of all vintage board games, a bit like Mousetrap and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and it was just sold as like a board game collection. There was some rubbish in there as well, but I got must have been about 30 different board games, and I got them quite early on in the year, so I'd save these things for like months, taking up loads of space. But they're well worth getting. But they do really need to be complete, don't they? But you can sell them for parts as well if they're popular sets, I think. I'll grab a few more things.
Okay, just pop that.
board games and
Nick's
Lego.
saying board games and Lego. Hold on, I need to make notes. With a winking sort of.
That Mousetrap, I never had that. I always wanted it because I thought, it's brilliant.
Right.
But apparently it's a real pain to set up, and it's got so many little bits that can get lost. And, and picking up a Mousetrap from a boot fair is, you kind of take a chance whether all the bits are there, because there's so many bits to that game.
Well, I've got this one's actually incomplete that I'm showing here.
Wow.
That's out my death pile. So it's basically just waiting for another incomplete set, and hopefully I can build a full set. Another good thing. Not necessarily this. Again, this has been on sale for a long time, but these sort of things, vintage hair dryers, vintage beauty products, that all seems to sell. Yeah,
because the hair in the 80s was quite like.
Yeah, especially if they're boxed and quite nice. I think a lot of people buy them for like props as well, for like TV shows and that sort of thing. So you can see them for £1 or something. It's always worth picking up that sort of thing. Quite a few people know I like this sort of thing, boom boxes. I'm guessing this is 80s, late 80s, maybe early 90s.
Yeah, it looks 80s to me, I think.
Yeah, the boom boxes, you hear them like that.
So you got your standard cassette. And the belts sometimes need replacing on them. This one's actually very good condition. Needs a bit of a clean up, I think. I have a feeling this is off my death pile, but I have a feeling the tape was dodgy on that, and I don't think this one is worth that much because of the condition. So I think that's why it's been left on the death pile, waiting for me to have the inspiration to actually fix it up. Yeah,
because I always remember the early Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where Will has the boombox. I think the first couple of series.
Yeah,
it was walking around with big boom boxes.
Yeah, as you can see, just there's that. I think I've shown it before on the channel. Yeah, it's the big 70s boombox I've got.
Yeah, great.
That's actually on sale now. I did actually get around to listing it. So. But I think that's 70s, so I didn't.
Oh right, that. Fair enough.
Another good thing is to sell is this sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Vintage tools. Guessing this might be 80s, but Black and Decker, you could pick these up for a couple of £. they usually work because they're quite robust, made in England sort of stuff. And these sell for £15-20 depending on condition and stuff. So they're always worth picking up. You can get sanders, you can get drills, and heat guns, and that sort of thing. And you get the orange ones, and you can get the I think the later ones are the blue type ones.
Yeah, I'm sure my parents, especially my dad, had some of those vintage tools.
Yeah, people love them.
Yeah, because I remember them from the early 90s.
Reliable. Yeah, they're just so reliable, I think.
Yeah, oh, they are.
And I think you can, basically just take them to bits, clean them up, and put them back together, and they work again. If they
much better than the newer stuff. Take like little fiddly bits on them.
Yeah. So I think that's why they're popular. Yep. Got a couple more things. I'll show them.
Okay. Yeah, I've just put the Just Giving page in the side chat, so do go and donate. If you can only donate £1, that'd be brilliant. All helps.
Yeah, you posted the Just Giving page. Yeah, I'll bring up the total again, see if it's...
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'll just put it in the side chat.
So yeah, there you go. That's what we're still out there. We need some more donations, guys. So if you fancy donating, please do. Right, so this is 70s, I think, but it's the same sort of thing. I'll just get the lid off. Typewriters.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, typewriters, yeah.
They're always worth picking up because I find they pretty much any typewriter will go for at least £40.
Yeah.
And then, you can go up to like a couple of £100 depending on the model and all of that. And they usually do work.
I had a little toy one. I don't know whether it's sold, but it was like a kid's typewriter.
The petite typewriters.
Yeah, it might have been. It was like an orange colour one.
Right. Yeah, they're good as well. I've had a couple of them in the boxes before from auctions.
Yeah, mine was boxed. Let's see if I can see it.
I remember going to this is probably an 80s thing actually. What was it? Blue Peter Bring and Buy sale at the school.
Oh, right.
And I got this petite typewriter, and I was over the moon with it. I would have got it for like £1 or something.
Oh, right. Yeah, we had Blue Peter Bring and Buy in the 90s. We used to do basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't find that, but I've got one of these, which is
all right. Casden Tills.
Yeah, but it's got like old money on it.
Yeah, it's the original. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few of those before as well.
Yeah. That's boxed. But
wow.
The strange thing is, you get that and you think, oh that'll easily sell on eBay to some, but it hasn't.
I've sold them, but they did take a long time to sell. But
they take a while sometimes.
I think I might have got about £15 to £20.
Yeah, that's probably
something like that.
I'm trying to get for it.
Yeah.
So.
I've got the modern. I think it's. I don't know if it's the modern equivalent, but it's
modern.
I was going to show that.
Yeah.
That's a Casden.
Oh, that,
well.
yeah. Oh, that one brings like a lot of memories. Same repeats. Because obviously, when I used to work with young kids, they used to have like areas where they set up shop areas, and they used to have both in the old money and the newer one together, and they to put their fruit and veg and stuff through. It used to go ping or wherever the noise was, and then you used to take your money out. It's like, wow. Yeah.
I've got a Fisher Price till. It's got one of the rolling boards on, where you put your food on. I can't remember what you call it. Food,
and
it goes along. But the roller thing's broken, unfortunately. So
that's a shame.
Yeah, so I think they sell for about £30 really in good working order. So mine's basically worthless. But this is my next thing. This is what I love picking up these. And I hate to go to a boot sale and not get a video recorder.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
This one is actually choose tapes up. I assume it does.
Oh, right.
It says choose tapes on that sticker on the top. This is a later model, of course, but the 80s ones, if you can get, I think it's Philips Video 2000, which isn't VHS. It looks like a VHS, but it's slightly wider, I think. they go for a lot of money. I think I've sold those for like well over 100 before.
Oh, I never heard of those.
Yeah, I think it's Philips Video 2000, I think. And of course, Betamax video recorders, they do well.
Well, I've got an old Sony Betamax, and it's pretty beat up and untested. I don't know whether it's listed, actually. I might have taken it off. But I've tried selling that, and it didn't sell. Maybe I might try and get it on again.
Yeah,
it's so heavy. It is
that's
heavy.
Yeah, you really need to know your postage costs to begin with. So, because that's the problem with that sort of thing. Especially if it's broken, because obviously that brings the value down. And then you think, is it really worth me packaging this up?
Well, I think I bought it for a £5, and I was thinking, well, it should easily make that. But it's honestly been in the garage for like a couple of years.
No,
I would say that's worth a lot of money. Well over 50, I would have thought.
Yeah, I'll drop you a picture of it and see what you think. But it was, it was just like this Sony unit. Even if it was for parts, I guess that's all it could be used for. But it was really dusty.
Get out and have a look at it.
It looked like someone's been kicking it around.
Yeah.
And I can't test it because, I mean, I used to have some old Betamax tapes, but I haven't got any anymore. But
I've got one. If you want one, I can send
you.
Well,
I don't even know if I can test with the. I don't know if I've got the power unit for it. I'll have to go and dig it out and get it. I'd love to get rid of it. It's such this great big like brick of a thing. But there you go.
Yeah, so video recorders definitely worth picking up. VHS ones sell. I find any video recorder will sell for around £25.
Yeah.
And then of course you get ones with the later ones with DVD
players
as well. They go for a little bit more, and ones with more heads and stuff like that, 6-head players, they sell for a little bit more. So
definitely, and Sony and Panasonic, bread and butter, aren't they? So.
Yeah, if you can get a Sony one or a Panasonic, they're going to go for probably around 40, 50, depending on if you've got the remotes and things like that. I think I've got one more thing. I'll just show that. Things like this.
Yeah.
It's a Kenwood Chefette. This is, but these are good if you can get them with the attachments and stuff. Because
the bowls sell for good money as well, don't they? The bowls always sell quite well.
I've got this on sale at the moment, but it's been a bit quite slow to sell, so I might just split it. So I think that's the best way to get the money, because you can sell all these parts separate.
Definitely. I've got a big box Mullinex thing that I've been trying to get. It's got all the attachments and everything, Master Chef, whatever it is. And I'm trying to get I think about 50 or 60 quid for it, but it hasn't gone, and I'm so tempted just to take all the individual bits and sell those.
It might be the easiest way to do it. I think that's what I'm going to do with this project. I might give it another cycle on eBay and see. But yeah, that's got the glass bowl on it as well. What are your opinions on things like this? Vinyl?
I've never sold vinyl, but those Top of the Pops albums, I think, are brilliant. Yeah, it's just like that is the classic thing that you always used to get in a charity shop, and it used to be like 10p or something.
Yeah, probably
now, just because it's vinyl, they're trying to get like 20 quid.
Yeah, I've sold a few vinyls, but nothing that's worth great money.
Well,
there's no more to pick up, to be honest.
Well, I got these at auction, and I've listed some, and I've sold. I listed basically them all at $9.99 each, free delivery. Because they're not worth. They're worth about £8 to £10. So I've listed those ones, not the ones I've just shown, different ones. And I've sold one which was a Boney M album. And that's
pretty
sold.
good though for if you're getting 8 or 9 quid. So again, it's the sort of thing that used to be given away practically.
Yeah, so I don't know whether it's worth going through the bundle and listing it. So I've made a tenner now, and it probably took me maybe an hour to take all those photos and do it. Plus everything's now listed, so I only need them other ones to sell.
it's so difficult with stuff like that. I just got a load of DVDs and I kind of thought, oh, brilliant. But then when I started going through it and individually, it was like, oh, God, they're not worth anything. So I ended up bundling them all. And I still don't know whether they'll sell if they're bundled.
No,
it's all experience, isn't it?
Of course it is. They've got to do it. Yeah.
You know, when you go through any stuff like that, you kind of think, well, it is tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're approaching the hour. I suppose we best have a quick look at the chat, because we've been ignoring the chat, haven't we?
So I am doing mine at 11, which is in 5 minutes. I'm totally not prepared at all. And it's almost exactly the same. So of going through... Well, it's
jump over?
Well, it is my junk that I found around my house from the 80s. So I've got a mixture of toys. I've got some records.
So
I've got some books and stuff. So
you still got your actual
I've still
stuff
got
from there?
my actual stuff. Yeah, some of it is kind of sourced stuff, but I'll let you know what is mine and what was sourced.
Yeah, I wish I'd kept all my stuff. So I had some, I was quite heavily into Thundercats, and I basically had all the figures. All of the Thunder Tank and all the vehicles. Some of them are quite rare now.
Yeah, well,
the only thing I didn't have was the Cat's Lair. But being a creative kid, I made my own out of cardboard.
Yeah.
I had vintage Star Wars stuff, like original release Star Wars. So I've got loads of it. I'm going to show some of that. But originally I had the cardboard Death Star, and that got sold. But I've still got my got my original X-Wing, which I'll bring out. And I've got like Millennium Falcon and Walkers and stuff. So
I never really got into Star Wars until a bit later on. I think it was when when they re-released the stuff in the mid-90s.
That's when I went
on. That's what I used to like. In the mid-90s, I used to have like lots of figures when they released them, and then I used to have the Star Wars Pogs. And that sort of stuff. And I used to go mad on it.
Yeah.
Every week I was buying something for like a Star Wars collection. I've only got a small amount at the moment, but
I'm staying away from collecting stuff because it's a bad idea for me.
Well, with me and games,
it's the start of hoarding road.
Yeah, I've just dropped your channel link in, Pete.
Oh, thanks very much, Peter.
So people can pop over.
Yeah. I'll sort out sending out my StreamYard link actually.
Should we could wrap this up, so give everybody a chance to get a coffee and stuff like that before getting into your live.
That's a good idea.
And let you get it set up and stuff. So
lovely.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for joining. Remember to donate. Let me get rid of that. Donate to the cause there. It'd be much appreciated. Thanks, guys, for popping on as well. I'll put a link. I'll put a link to your channels as well when I finish the video. Sorry we've ignored the chat a little bit. It's very difficult to do the live and then keep an eye on the chat as well. Yeah. So well, everybody go over to Peter's channel.
Yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'll just make a cup of tea and then we'll get going.
Yeah, brilliant. I'll see you all there then. Okay, thanks guys.
Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Lovely.